Let's look at this together, shall we? The Vrba-Wetzler report is sometimes referred to as the Auschwitz Protocols, although in fact the protocols incorporated information from 3 reports, including Vrba-Wetzler under the title German Extermination Camps, Auschwitz, and Birkenau. The report contains sketches and information about the layout of the gas chambers, describing the large room where victims were made to undress before being pushed into the gas chambers, as well as the attached crematoriums. In a deposition for the trial of Adolf Eichmann in 1961, and in his book, I Cannot Forgive, Vrba said that he and Wetzler obtained the information about the gas chambers and crematoria from the Sonderkommando Philipp Mueller and his colleagues who worked there. Mueller confirmed Vrba's story in his eyewitness Auschwitz 1979. The report offered a description of the camp's 4 crematoria. Jean-Claude Brissac, a French specialist on the gas chambers, concluded in 1989 that while, let me get myself up here, hold on a second, 1989, that while the report was wrong on certain issues, it has the merit of describing exactly the gassing process in Type 2 and 3 crematorium as from mid-March 1943. It made the mistake of generalizing internal and external descriptions and the operating method to crematorium 4 and 5. Far from invalidating it, the discrepancies confirm its authenticity, as the discrepancies are clearly based on what the witnesses could actually have seen and heard. Auschwitz scholar Robert Jan van Pelt agreed, writing in 2002, the description of the crematoria in the War Refugee Board report contains errors, but given the conditions under which information was obtained, the lack of architectural training of Vrba and Wetzler, and the situation in which the report was compiled, one would become suspicious if it did not contain errors. Given these circumstances, the composite crematorium reconstructed by the 2 escapees without any architectural training is as good as one could expect. So the writers didn't have any knowledge on architecture, so their descriptions weren't exactly as adequate as a description from a professional architect would be. Still, this proves that this actually proves the authenticity, because if there were no discrepancies, people would say it's too perfect. So because there are discrepancies, it does show that there is authenticity in the document, because as human beings, we are innately prone to making mistakes. And basically, the so-called errors are simply a product of the writer's lack of knowledge in architecture. So if I, let's say, was in New York City in the time of 9/11 and I described the buildings going down, my description would not be as good as someone with architectural knowledge would be. It would not disprove my account, but it would simply show my lack of knowledge on architecture. So that's what we have so far. Background. Let's see. Let's get into the main point of contention here, which is gas chambers, right? But Holocaust deniers love to say, I'm not a Holocaust denier. I just think there's no gas chambers, and their whole point of contention is on the gas chambers. That's their whole point of contention, because if they can prove that there were no gas chambers, then they can then they can make a giant hole in the narrative for the Holocaust and say that the Nazis were the good guys. Believe it or not, okay, bottom line, make no mistake about it, the entire Holocaust denialist ideology has one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to sanitize Nazism. It is to sanitize Hitler. It is to convince people to convert to Nazism so that people can actually do another Holocaust. That's what this is. Bottom line. Let's look at some more of this. Gas chambers. All right, let's look at gas chambers. Okay, hold on. It was definitely in the thousands. Thousands upon thousands of pounds of paper documenting Nazi crimes. All these historians from various countries have studied the Holocaust. My friend, I don't want to debate you. I'll be honest with you, because it's not worth it, because you're going to lose. If I know you're going to lose, I don't want to debate you. I like to do debates. I like to do debates that I actually might lose. The Nuremberg trials had 1 million pages of documents. Have you read 1 million pages? I don't think so. Have I read the 1 million pages? No. But that's why I read historians. That's why I read Michael Burleigh. That's why I look at the Wikipedia articles. Because other people have the time and the expertise and the intelligence to actually study this stuff. All of a sudden, some guy on the internet who calls himself Josh the Coptic has figured it out. He is more intelligent than all of the historians from England, from all the he is more intelligent than all of the historians from Austria, from Germany, historians from various Balkan countries, Croatia, Serbia, Poland. Are you more intelligent than Tadeusz Petrovsky, Polish historian who studied the Holocaust? If the Holocaust is fake, you will have to prove that there is a conspiracy coordinated between all these historians from all these various countries, American historians, English historians, Polish historians, German historians, Austrian historians, Australian historians, all these historians, the Serbs, listen to me, that's not a straw man. That is not a straw man. You have to now demonstrate how you are more intelligent than all these, not more intelligent, you have to demonstrate how you have disproved all of the historians before us who wrote about the Holocaust. Now, hold on, Mr. Josh the Coptic. You asked me, you told me to read what's it called? The Vrba-Wetzler report? Vrba-Wetzler report. I am reading the Wikipedia article, and I'm reading about gas chambers. I'm reading about mass murder. This doesn't prove Holocaust denialism. You do realize that. I want you to realize that. I want you to admit that you sent me this thing, and it didn't prove your position. It disproved your position. The Polish people talk about the Holocaust. Are they liars? Polish people are not fans of Israel. Polish people are more critical of the Jews than Americans are, than the English people are. You talk to a Polish person, they are not fans of Israel. Polish people aren't sitting there saying, oh, we have to prove the Holocaust for some agenda. Polish historians talk about the Holocaust. Are they liars? I want you to tell me right now that the Polish historians who have talked about, who have written on the Holocaust are liars. I want to hear that from you right now. I want to hear that from you. No. I want to hear it from you. I want to hear from you. Is Tadeusz Petrovsky a liar? Tadeusz Petrovsky, a Polish historian who has written books on the Holocaust. I want you to tell me right now that Tadeusz Petrovsky is a liar. I want you to tell me that you know more than Tadeusz Petrovsky. I want you to tell me that you know more than all the Serbs who wrote about the genocide that was done on their people by the Nazi Croatians. The Serbs wrote about what the Nazis did to them. Are they liars? You say, oh, the Jews. Okay, so the Jews, according to you, they're like in the secret cabal. And they're like, oh, we have to make up the Holocaust because we hate white people and all this stuff. Okay. Oh, you haven't read them? You haven't? Oh, okay. Okay, I've read Tadeusz Petrovsky. Tadeusz Petrovsky says there's a Holocaust. There was a Holocaust. Is he a liar? I want to hear that. Tell me. Mr. Know-it-all, you know everything about, you've proven it. You told me, you put a comment under one of my videos saying that you've looked at the documents. You've looked at them, and people haven't read the documents. Okay. I asked you to prove your position. I asked you to educate me, and you educated me. You told me about something that I did not know about. The Vrba-Wetzler report. I'm reading about it. It talks about gas chambers. It talks about mass murder. It talks about a genocide. The Serbs talked about the Holocaust. The Poles talked about the Holocaust. Germans talked about the Holocaust. Freaking Austrians talked about the Holocaust. English people talked about the Holocaust. Americans talked about the Holocaust. All these people are liars. Serbs are not the most pro-Jewish people in the world, yet they will tell you about the German reign of terror. Polish people are not the biggest fans of Jewish people, yet they will tell you about the German reign of terror. Russians are not the biggest fans of Israel nor Jewish people, and they will tell you about the German reign of terror. So now you have to prove to me, because you say, well, it's the Jews. Here's something to learn about, my friend. You're not my friend. The Holocaust wasn't just done to Jews. The Holocaust was done to Serbs, Poles, Russians. 30 million Russians were killed by the German Nazis. Are the Russians liars? Are the Poles liars? Are the Serbs liars? Ukrainians, are they liars? Are they all these people, the Hungarians? You have these people online who are like, I'm so trad, I'm so Christian, and they're Holocaust deniers. Are we going to make a blight on the image of Christianity in the Western world by inundating it with uneducated buffoons who push for Nazi propaganda? Is this what we're going to reduce ourselves to? Seriously? Talk to a Russian. Read Russian literature on the Holocaust. Read the literature from the Poles, the records, the eyewitness accounts. Do you know who entered Auschwitz Oh my God, I got to give you people an education. Holy shit. Witold Pilecki, a non-Jew, Polish dude who infiltrated Auschwitz and told the world about the German atrocities. And guess what? No one believed him. No one believed him. They said he was crazy. They said he was making things up. But it turned out he was right. But yet people will deny the Holocaust, just like these people denied what Mr. Pilecki wrote. Can you not read? I'm asking you, because you say that I asked you for evidence to disprove the Holocaust. Apparently you can't read, because you gave me something that disproves your position. People should read about the General Plan Ost. Yes, they should. Michael Burleigh talks about the General Plan Ost, but these people are too clouded with their worship of the German race. They're LARPing and worship of the German race that they don't seek knowledge. That's what you're dealing with here. It's like an Israeli who says, we didn't kill any civilians, we just killed terrorists. And then you show them a report about Israeli soldiers sniping civilians. They're like, yeah, well, those kids must have deserved to get shot. Oh, why do people act that way? I'll tell you why. It's because they worship the Jewish race. And so you have people who worship the German race, or they want to be German. They wish they were German, so they worship Nazis. Witold Pilecki's report. Let's look at this real quick, guys. Witold's report, also known as Pilecki's report, is the report about the Auschwitz concentration camp written in 1943 by Witold Pilecki. Polish, not Jewish. Polish dude. And member of the Polish resistance. Pilecki volunteered in 1940 to be imprisoned in Auschwitz. He volunteered. He escaped from Auschwitz in April 1943. His was the first comprehensive record of a Holocaust death camp. So the first record that we have of the Holocaust death camps comes from not a Jewish person, not an Israeli, a Polish person. So was there some kind of coordinated effort between the Zionists and the Poles to prove that the Holocaust never happened? The report includes details about the gas chambers. Oh, gas chambers. He wrote about the gas chambers. Was he a liar? Selection, sterilization experiments. It states that there were 3 crematoria in Auschwitz II capable of cremating 8,000 people daily. Pilecki's report preceded and complemented the Auschwitz protocols compiled. So hold on. We have 2 reports. We have the Vrba-Wetzler report, which you referenced to me, and then we have the Pilecki report. Why are they in such agreement? So are you saying that there was a coordinated conspiracy between Witold Pilecki and the people who wrote the Vrba-Wetzler report? Is that your argument? Was there a coordinated effort between Witold Pilecki and Vrba and Wetzler? Really, if the Holocaust was this scam fraud that's been pushed to go to war with white people and all, so was there a coordinated effort between Pilecki and Vrba-Wetzler? What say you, Mr. Holocaust denier? So are you now going to affirm to me that there was a coordinated conspiracy between Pilecki and Vrba and Wetzler? I just want to hear an answer. Was there or was there not a conspiracy? Because if the whole Holocaust was a lie, then there must be a conspiracy. They're all making this stuff up. All these guys were making this stuff up. If there was no coordinated effort, then these people were making these observations independently, and that means that we actually should listen to what they had to say, because these are authentic eyewitness accounts. When these people don't know each other and they're saying the same thing, this is what is observed, my friend. You're not my friend. I need to stop saying that. This is what is done in the court of law. This is what is enacted in the court of law. We look for eyewitnesses. We look for eyewitness accounts by people who don't know each other, and they're saying similar things or they're saying the same thing. And then we say, okay, it's not a coincidence that 3 different people went to Auschwitz and they saw the same damn thing, or they saw very similar things, or their accounts are very similar. We can't just ignore that. Are all these Nazis coming out? Dude, anytime you start talking about German militarism, all these German sausage worshippers pop up out of the woodwork. They want to eat the German sausage. Okay, fine. That's your decision. They want everyone else to eat German sausage. I don't want to eat German sausage. If I don't want to have bratwurst, I have a right not to want bratwurst. But these people want everyone to eat bratwurst. Everyone has to worship Germany. And if you criticize Germany, then you have basically the equivalent of the Israeli Hasbara coming after you. But this is the German Hasbara. So you have people who worship Israel. They get ass mad anytime you criticize Israel. They come into the comments section, and they just say, that didn't happen. No, we sniped them kids? No, it didn't happen. Israeli soldiers did what? They sniped them kids. They shot them in the head. Nah, it didn't happen. New York Times comes out with an article saying, here's some X-ray photos of children's skulls with bullets in them. So what say you, Mr. Israel worshiper? Well, you know, man, fuck them kids. They're all terrorists anyway. Oh, so they did kill those kids. So if I say, hey, Germany did some fucked up stuff back in the day, all the Bratwurst eaters come out and they worship Germany. The funny thing is, the great majority of the Bratwurst eaters are from America. They're not even from Germany. They're from America. In other words, the people in Germany are smart enough not to engage in these types of dialogues because their level of education is a lot higher than us. So the Germans know better. Even if a German is a flaming Nazi, he'll never tell you. A German Nazi, a guy who freaking Heils Hitler in his house, will tell you that the Holocaust was a great crime and that we should never repeat it again. And then he goes home and he's got a portrait of Hitler and he bows down to it and he has Kanye West playing in the back. And he's saying Heil Hitler. You'll never know because those German sleeper Nazis are smart enough not to freaking expose themselves. They're waiting for the great German apocalypse to happen. They're waiting for the freaking Wotan apocalypse to happen. Then they'll show themselves.